I'm Kenya John Baptiste. I was working in the mapping project lab with Dr. Collins.
Hey, I'm Brennan Collins, and I direct the Mapping Atlanta Project Lab. And so I got involved with the ATL Maps project, which we created at GSU and Emory, where there's a collection of thousands of archival maps with a growing collection of data points and kind of storytelling layers. Students, I think, learn about the city. It allows them to walk around the city with more understanding and connect the things that they're learning in their classes as well as the projects that we're working on, connect those things to the city that they're walking around in and driving around in every day. The rap map, which maps out the lyrics of Atlanta hip-hop artists. It was a student who had the idea. Pretty quickly, once we got a few artists on there, it got national attention. We had a write-up in what was then The Atlantic. These students have also created a map that's connected to the history department's civil rights reacting to the past game. They created a map which essentially became the game board for the game. What we're doing in these project labs is creating tangible, useful objects, assets that can be used and that are being used.
I was focusing on the Kneelings movement in Atlanta. So originally we were supposed to look at all protests against segregation in Atlanta.
That combination between storytelling and data, I think, is extremely important, and students need to learn how to deal with data, collect it, and show it in a meaningful way.
We found all the churches in Atlanta from 1960s to 1970s. We made a little driving tour of some of the churches in Atlanta that had incidents, and then we pulled news articles. I think you can actually find it still if you go onto ATL Maps. So
these are things that students can point to, whether it's in their portfolio or just showing their family or friends,
That was just the first semester of the project. Second semester, it kind of evolved to more going through census tracts, old censuses from Atlanta from 1960s through to the early 90s.
The yearly census that Atlanta had. Most cities didn't have yearly censuses. They're usually every 10 years, right? The national census. But Atlanta for decades kept a year-to-year census, and the main thing they focused on was race. They had to find old maps and create the blocks that showed where these census tracts were. So they had to create that and then went through and got all the data from decades, and we will be able to put it in there that will show change over time demographically. From a year-to-year census, what you'll see is that this was a yearly thing. Entire neighborhoods would change from white to black.
If I wasn't an Asian studies major, I think I'd still be a history major and still do something with research regardless. But I would have never picked mapping for myself. It wasn't my first choice. But I ended up really enjoying it and really enjoying research. And I never thought that would be me. But now I really want a career in something like that. I'm really grateful that it pushed me to find something I really enjoy.